Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and build update number 4 of AMT's 1967 Mustang GT Fastback. I got a lot done, and it's starting to show. We're going to be moving forward here real quick. The crew's not allowed to work on this because this is part of Gaahlerie's GWCC, which stands for Gaahlerie's World Creator Cup 2026. This started on 30th was the cutoff date, but I was able to start on the 16th. It's going to go until September 3rd. This kit's not going to take me that long, obviously. But what's cool is that at the bottom corner, you'll be able to click, this is my final entry, and that's the one I think you're going to get judged on. I think that's how this goes. But anyhow, this is for a Gaahleri, so I'm really pulling out all the stops and doing as much as I can to this kit. As I can. The crew came over. They're not allowed to work on it because it is a contest kit, but they came over to inspect my work and to harass me. So let me get them out of the way so we can start going over this. Even Daisy, boy, does she want to go for a ride in this. I still haven't gotten this dang trunk set up yet. I'm going to put a couple of tabs in here. I had one and I broke it clean off. But I'm going to put a couple tabs in here so when I drop it in, I can put it here, and then it'll just fall into place. Because, yep, this is getting lit, and I think it's going to just rock when it's lit up. Before we even start on this, let me move the engine out of the way. I was going back and forth about putting a light inside the cabin, and the interior has the little lights in the back, and then it had two little lights up top here. And I think if I tried to match that, it's just going to look horrible. So I'm not going to light the interior, but we are going to have the headlights, taillights. I'm going to make the two center lights fog lights and then turn signals. There are running lights all lit. But we got a good polish down on the body now. I spent a good maybe 3 hours. I did a wet sand. I did all the way through all the Tamiya's polishes up to fine. There's no wax on this yet because I still want to put in the chrome. And I looked. I have, I think, enough bare metal foil that I'm going to put bare metal foil on this time instead of trying to hand paint it because in the back here or somewhere, it's awful fine. And I think if I tried to paint it, it would run. So we'll see. I'd love to use the Fusion Firm on it. I'm really happy with Fusion Firm right now. I used it to airbrush for the first time. And I don't have the airbrush Fusion Firm, but fortunately last week I went up to, I think it was last week. Everything's just running together now. But I went up to do an airbrush demonstration at Cleveland with the IPMS Western Reserve chapter. If you're up in Cleveland and you want to join a model club, these guys are awesome. They know what they're talking about, and they go out of their way to try to help each other and help the community in general. And they put on one H of an amazing show in the fall. So even if you don't want to be a member of the club, you got to check out their show because it's an IPMS show. It covers everything: ships, cars, aviation, figurines. And when I say I'm a hack, if you go up to that show, you'll see why I say I'm a hack. But anyhow, they hooked me up and they taught me how to airbrush the Fusion Firm. And it's really simple. The main thing is cut it in half. I use isopropyl alcohol, 91%, to cut it in half, and it sprays and it dries while it's spraying almost. And it looks, well, I have it right here. It looks like a car bumper. It's not that blazing toy chrome. It's chrome. It looks perfect. So I am stoked right now because this thing's gonna look really good with all the chrome and everything. I might put on the big boy pants and try to mask this all off and spray the chrome on it, but I know how to do bare metal foil, and I'd hate to screw this up. But no matter what, I am going to have to hand do the front and around the, the front bumper here and around the grill. And while we're talking about that, let me take the hood off. I haven't done anything. I still have the foam on the inside of the hood, except for get a couple coats of clear on it. I will paint all this out with some flat black, and then we'll do our texturing. But it came out, I mean, geez, I am stoked with that. You can, it's gone. You can't even really tell that there was a mask there and it was painted on. It feels like decals. But I do need to put a little piece of chrome across the front here, and then that'll go around the headlights and around the front here, and then a bumper comes on. But I did get the grill painted, and if you look at the holes for the crossbar on the grill, you can see that they're kind of a little deeper on the lower side. That's because I had to drill out the two fog lights I'm going to put in there. And I'm going to use clear lenses for the fog lights. I'm going to paint the LEDs themselves with the clear yellow. And I think that'll look really cool. Even when the car's off, they'll be clear with that little, that little yellow dot in the center. But when you turn them on, it'll look like the fog lights. So I'm looking forward to getting that. Painting went very well. I did the aluminum on the inside, and I'm really happy with how that looks. That's hand brushed. Everything so far has been Gaahleri paint, and it's hand brushing for me way better than I expected. Engine bay is now black, like it's supposed to be. It's a little flatter. I used the matte finish on it because I had it out, and I didn't want a high gloss inside the engine bay. I want a semi-gloss. So we'll take some of the Quick Shine floor finish, and I'll just brush that on there lightly, and that'll bring that up to a semi-gloss. So the body's looking good. I panel lined it the other day, and I'm glad I didn't do that big what do you call it? Brain just shut off. I'm glad I didn't do the big cutout on here, the mask with the running pony and the thing up here, because I like the way that I'm calling it metallic blood. I like the way that looks going over those lines and how it changes. And I think with that big horse on the side there, it would have taken away from that. So we're just stuck with the decal on the bottom, and that went on great, no problems. So the body is, geez, is it getting there? I have to build a couple of boxes for the taillights, and we'll get those lit. But right now, this is where we stand. I still have to do all the chrome work on it, but we're getting there. I was working on other things, because sometimes you just need a break. You push, and then it's like, okay, it's time to move on. And I wanted to try some stuff with that Fusion firm, especially since I was learning how to airbrush it. So we got that. Yesterday, I was on with Bruce all day. And I got a good 4 hours worth of work done in the shop. And we had a good time just shooting the breeze and working on our kits. And I got the engine detailed up. If you want to take a good close look, the firing order is correct. Aftermarket distributor cap, but other than making the alternator bracket, that's the only aftermarket part on here that's not just wires. The linkage on the side, I used a real thin styrene that Rusty hooked me up with. And thank you again, Rusty, because I don't have anything that would even come close to being able to make that throttle linkage look as good as it did there. So we still have to run the linkage back to the car. I won't do that till I get it in, but I did get the return spring put in. We got obviously the spark plug wires run. We got the fuel line run. We have the vacuum advance run. We have the heat tube. I'm not sure what that's actually called, that runs from the the exhaust manifold up into the choke. That's there, and this big pipe right here that's coming out is the pipe for the master cylinder, the brake booster. So we got all that. I did not run heater hoses on this. It's a show car. He pulled the heater out. If you look at the dash or the firewall, it's not there. So I'm not even going to try for it. It's a flat piece right there, and I thought, you know what? I would probably do that too if I wanted to get all the horsepower I could. So I just left it out, and it was an on-purpose thing. It'll clear up. It'll make the engine bay look a lot cleaner. I will run the battery cables. I have to make an ignition coil. There's no ignition coil on it, and you can't really drive a car without an ignition coil. So there we go. I really like this 289. It's a good engine. The only thing that just bothers the snot out of me is the way they built the car. The engine mounts way up here on both sides, and this should be kicked back about an eighth of an inch scale, an eighth of an inch back on the engine block here, because there's no oil filter. So I'm not going to try to fudge one in. I was going to try to drop one behind it and all that, and I thought, no, we're just going to leave the kit the way the kit is and go from there. You see, I don't have a PCV line on there. There is a breather cap there. That's a breather filler cap, we're saying, and I'm sticking to my guns on that. Other than that, I wish you could see the actual color of the block and the bell housing, because it's a lot better Ford blue than what you're getting there. And that's ChatGPT told me to use the bright blue, I think it is, from the Mecha colors, the Kaleido Mecha colors. So I'm glad I had that set. And I got the Mecha set for interior colors, and I use it more on engines than anything else. So there's the engine. We're going to keep rolling through here. The interior, man, am I jazzed. It's coming out really, really good. That's that light I was telling you about in the back. I'm happy with this. It's all hand done, all hand painted. Matte on the black isn't. That's airbrushed on, but then everything else on here got the hand painted treatment, and I'm happy with it. I had a steady hand that day, so I just kept rolling, let it sit for 3 days, and then I put the clear. That's clear yellow in there. Yeah, I was debating on the yellow or the orange. That's clear yellow over the Fusion Firm. I'm not testing the reaction or how it holds, because if I don't touch it, it's not going to go anywhere. But so far, it looks really good. Looks like it should. So there's that. The seats came out very nice. I painted the black, and had everything masked off, and this was ultra white. And I mean like ultra white. Huge difference. And what I ended up using, because I went through a whole bunch of different colors, thinking about, can I use this? Can I use that? Can I use the white? Well, the white's white. I ended up using white flesh on here. And that gave a very nice toned down, not ivory, but not blistering white color. And then I came back with that, and my camera is really picking up the dry brush I put on it, but it's not this brown orange color. It's just really subdued. I don't know why the camera is grabbing at it like that. It looks more like this, but I think the camera's picking up the little particles that I have. But I dry brushed this with pastels. The brown pastel, real lightly. So I don't know why it's sticking out like that. And then I put the back burner on there, is fusion firm. And it came out really good. I was thinking about doing red piping on this, um, and decided, no, we're going to stop right here. I don't want to start junking up the interior on an old car with stuff like that. We'll just leave it go old school, but still pretty. Let's see here. Like I said, the rest of this all got, I don't know why that's showing so brown. That is um, not like that. So it's weird how the camera's picking that up. But it all painted up very well. It's brush painted on, and then the top where the texture should be, I just kind of stippled it after I was done painting it, and it gave me that perfect texture look up there. Even though the kit is textured, when I brush painted it on, it took away from that a little bit. So there you can see the texturing, and this is the color of that the whole thing looks like. So it's a good color, but you can see the texturing I did in there just added to it a little bit. So really good. The back burners painted on very nice. The little chrome trimmies. So I'm jazzed. We're doing great. The radiator got aluminized just lightly. The front that was white, and I just hit it with the aluminum. I'll come back and hit this part with panel liner, just opposite. But I like how that looks. My camera's picking that up a lot brighter, but it'll look good, and you're going to see it like this anyhow. But it looks good. I did the rings for the radiator hoses. I still haven't painted my radiator hoses. I need to get on the stick with all the little brush painting stuff, but I've been very busy. My mirrors had really bad sinkholes in the front, and I threw them in the Purple Power and let them sit for an hour, and it stripped everything down to where there was nothing left. Even the varnish came off, and it was neat. It came off. I told Bruce, I says, look at this. It looks like snakeskin. It peeled it right off. So that worked out good. And then I used UV resin for the to fill the sinkholes with the mirrors. And then I took them over to the spray booth. I hit it with when I did the bumpers with the fusion firm, and I'm really happy with how that came out. Both of them look very good. They were bad. The sinkholes were ginormous in there. So that worked out good. My exhaust is now doctored up a little bit. I'm not going to dry brush this. This car is going to be on the tow. So we're going to leave it like this when we put it in, and it's going to really, 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 really look good on this undercarriage. I found some pictures of a car that's never been painted, a Mustang that was never painted before, right out of the showroom. And the whole chassis was it looked like zinc oxide, but more red than that. So ChatGPT to the rescue. I says, what color was underneath the Mustang on the chassis? And it came back with this mixture, which was a mixture of the Forge Red K110, and they said mix that 10 drops of that to 2 drops of K012, the orange yellow. And that's what I did, because I said over black. I almost forgot to say over black. And when I did that before, you remember on the last build, it came out purple. So I said that, and it took into consideration that there was going to be a black base and then what to add on top of it. So if you have the line of paints and you say, what Kaleido paints from Gaahleri do I need to paint a blah, 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 it will tell you, and then pretty much tell you how to do it too. It even told me to make sure that there was a little bit of show through in spots too. And that's why you see the little bit of darker and lighter. And now I just did this last night before I went up, And it even said wait 2 days after you do that, or put it in a dehydrator for, I forget how long, at what temperature, and then spray it with 2 heavy coats of the Kaleidos Matte Clear, because it needs to be almost a grayish flat. And ChatGPT said that that's what it's going to be when you do that. So we're going to keep going because this is dead on so far. It looks exactly like the picture I looked at. So, and I wish I saved it, but I didn't. So I'm sorry, or I would have showed it to you. There's this that's painted that color, and the rear end for some reason, the same thing. So that's going to be in there. I'm not sure which way that goes. Going to be in there like that too, and then all the black around it. So it's going to look neat. I still have to run brake lines because they run down the center. The fuel line runs down the center. Then we'll put in, or we'll get ready to put in the rear end. And once I get the rear end in, because I have to put the exhaust in first, I'll get the rear end all set up. I have to do the vent line on the rear end. I have to get the brake line set up for the rear end. And I'll also be running emergency brake lines back there. But I can't do those until the drive shaft is in. And I can't do the drive shaft until the exhaust is in. So, yeah. So I'm going to be feeding the emergency brake lines under the exhaust. But we'll make them right. We'll get them in the right place. We'll use more of Rusty's thin styrene to make the little brackets and everything for them. And down in the back here too. So it's going to work out really good. Big plans. I'm going to mask off the gas tank and spray that with aluminum. Because like I said, this car is going to be trailered, so it's going to be clean. I'm going to display this on the mirror. Still haven't done the flocking. I'm not going to do that until I get all this done because I've been setting it down that way, and I don't want to knock the flocking off. But there's our chassis. Stock rims. Let's talk about these for just a second. I stripped them. I cleaned them. I put them in Fusion Firm, and they're not really, I don't know, they're not really doing anything for me. I'm not done with them, but I don't know if I'm going to use them. I'm going to take one of them. I'm going to drill out all 4 of the holes. I'll paint it all up and see how I like it. But I'm still working on, because it's really not impressing me. So I am working on a set of Kragers that still, I'm losing my beauty ring, still have a long way to go. Right now, I still have to sand off these rings. But I wasn't going to jump on these because there was some serious lines like this on the spokes. And I wasn't really up to trying to sand all those out of there. It would have taken me hours. And then Bruce was like, they're not that deep. Go ahead and fill them with black and then hit them with the Fusion Firm. And I thought, well, we'll give it a try. And Bruce, he was right. It filled them up really well. I do need to sand around the upper ring because the beauty ring doesn't cover all this. So I'll do that, and then I'll take these back over, hit them with Fusion Firm, and I think I'm going to like these. We'll do the little blue on the Kragers and see what we're at. I have tires, bigs and smalls, over at the spray booth. I painted them yesterday with 2 coats of flat white. Today, sometime after lunch, because I'm hooking up with Rusty for hot dogs at lunch. I'm looking forward to that. But after lunch, I'll put 2 coats of gloss clear on that. And then after a couple of days, when that's dried hard, we'll come back, we'll paint everything with the black, and then we'll wipe off so we have the raised white letters. So we're rolling, man. We're rolling really well. Let's get back to the interior because I had a very good um, non-shaky hand couple of days, and I got a lot done. The stick shift is almost done. I have to do um, gloss on the handle or on the knob, but that took a while to clean. It was a nasty mold line in there, but I got it all taken care of without breaking it off, and still keeping the fingers uh, grips on the bottom. I'm not sure if those, and let me know in the comments. Is one of those a button to push in to get this to drop into reverse, or are those just a comfort knobs to where you can, grab onto them and have a little bit bigger handhold? I never knew that. I never got to ride in one of these that had that. So I'm curious if that's like a button to where you push the button in so you can get it to drop into reverse. Let me know in the comments because I'm dumb on that one. The other thing is the center came out great. I fusion firmed the ashtray. I fusion firmed all the trim. The center got Kaleido's aluminum. And don't worry about the little spots that are inside the two squares because I have, if I can find it, the seat belts that are going to go in there. So I'm working on these. All I need to do now is take a pencil and draw the two lines for the stitching, and those will come out good. But those are going to go in those two little squares, and then that just runs down the side on either side of it. So it's just I never really understood what those squares were until I saw a couple pictures of it, and I was like, all right, well, it's not the cigarette pack. So there's the center column. And now, like I said, I was doing really well. The steering column looks pretty good. I couldn't find a good picture, so I went all chrome. I think that's supposed to be chrome all the way to the end. I'm not sure, but that's where it is now. The ignition is painted up the silver, and that's ready to go. And like I said, I was having a super good day at the brush. So I don't know if this is going to even focus in. There we go. You can see the GT painted up very well. And then I took a drop of UV resin and put over top of it to lock it in and give it a little bit of gloss. So not done with this yet. I still got to do the little chrome ring on it, but I was afraid to touch it because I haven't been as smooth as I was last Friday. Steering wheel. The wood steering wheel came out great. I wanted a darker steering wheel to go with the black of the dashboard, and that looks really good. I'm glad I did that. I drilled it out too as best I could. The mold wasn't the best, and I didn't have a good Ford steering wheel to replace it with. So we're going to use this one. Like I said, I drilled out the holes as best I could without jerking it up too much, and that's going to look good, especially with that horn on there. Even if the horn's not supposed to go on there, I don't want to know because I'm going to use it. And then my dash came out great. No decals used. Hand did all the gauges, and then dropped a little bit of fusion firm over the top of. Dropped a little bit of UV resin over the top of them to lock everything in and to give it that glass look, but it painted up really nice for me. You see the radio? I even got the green. I haven't gone in there yet. I am going to try to put a little red line on the bar for the frequency bar, but that came out good. Looking real close. Let me back out. You can see the two green turn signals in there. The red for the, I think that's a warning light or idiot light. And then the one that looks black isn't black. It's actually blue. And I think that's for the high beams. I'm not sure. And again, if you guys know, let me know because I don't know. but that's what I went with. Even the pedals came out good for me this time. Usually I make a holy mess out of the pedals, and this time they really chromed up well. So it's unfortunate this is going to all be hidden. I was thinking about lighting it, but I opted out of it because I'm not doing the dome lights and everything, and I think it'd just look weird. So we're going to leave it the way it is now, and you can always look through the windows to see it. There's all that. We talked about... Oh, I got one more thing to show you. Well, two more things. Now that I'm looking. The center pony came out so nice for me. I used the Kaleidos black, which is a gloss black, and floated it in there. Almost like I would panel liner. And it worked really well for me. So I'm going to come back and do a little tiny touch up, but not a whole lot needed. There we go. You can see it better. Like I said, there's not a whole lot needed there. A lot of what you're seeing is reflection from the camera and the million candlewatt power lights that I have in here. You see I drilled out the two light lenses, and you see I drilled them off center. I drilled them off center not because that's where the pegs go, because I could have drilled through the pegs, but I drilled them off center so that when I put the LED in, I will flip it over flat this way, so it'll be a 90-degree, and that way when it lays in there, the LED will be pushing straight out the front instead of pushing down or sideways or whatever like I was doing before, not realizing what I was screwing up and how easy a fix it was. So they'll both be centered up in there, and I think that's going to look so cool with a little tiny drop of yellow on the LEDs. I'll be doing a test shot of that here pretty soon, but there's that, and it's going to end up being three things, guys, because shiny objects. My air filter, this was just a solid hunk of chrome. I took my file and just filed all the chrome off all the way around it, and then took a pencil and did the filter lines on it. And it looks convincing. It looks a whole lot better than it does on camera when it's blown up. It looks very convincing, like those are etched in there. And on the engine, it's going to look good. And what's cool is it sits up high enough to where you'll still be able to see all my linkage work for a change. The linkage on there, since I'm still talking about the engine, so this is still the third thing. If you want to get good linkage, this is the perfect color for it. Go up and check out Jim Pelosi's page, because that's where I got this from. It's like I said, it's a perfect, I think it's like AWG 32, somewhere in that area, but it's the silver instead of the orange and the red that I have. So thank you again, Jim. You're still helping me out here, and I appreciate it big time. And then lastly, I struggle with backup lights. They never look good because, you get the chrome backup lights. What do? You paint them with flat white. You hit it with the panel liner. You dab that off. You hit it with a quick shine. And it looks better than anything I ever did until I did this. Check that out. I've never been able to get them to look that good before. And I'll tell you what I used is, there we go. Look at that. I used Kaleidos Clear White. This is their matte white. I did not use this one. I grabbed the wrong one before I started the video. But Kaleidos, their translucent color, white. And I was wondering, what would I use clear white for? And then the other day when I was looking at these going, here we go. I thought about it, ran over there, grabbed it. That's just a drop on each one, a heavy drop on each one. Let it dry I think I let it dry for 4 hours, and then put one more heavy drop over top of that. And dang, I'm telling you, man, I've never been able to make them look that convincing before. So I'm pumped with that. That is exactly what I've been looking for years. So there is that. The chassis coming along, everything like I said. So with that, how about if I find my mouse? Like I said, this is all for the Gaahleri World Creators Cup 2026. If you want to check it out, go to gwcc.online. That easy. That'll take you right to the page. You can log in, or you can just kind of surf around and see what's going on. You don't have to be a member or into the contest to go on there and check it out. So remember, I'm under, I think, as Mark Eisenbrun. I don't think my username is Grandpa Marks on there. So look me up and see what I'm doing and see what everybody else is doing, and you'll see why I call myself a hack. Again, let's keep going with Gaahleri and say thank you to Gaahleri for keeping me busy and keeping me improving my model skills every time I use one of your products. If you want to get anything from Gaahleri, you can go to the Gaahleri webpage. If you do that, Grandpa Mark gets you 10% off of everything, including sale prices. If you go to Amazon and get anything Gaahleri, go to their Gaahleri store on Amazon, and then when you go to checkout, use the discount code P2DIBZ7T. Not an easy one to remember, but the link to it, or I got it in the description, so you can just copy and paste it. But that'll get you 10% off of everything from Amazon. So you can go both ways there. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you save on shipping. So there you go. 24-hour build is coming up really quick. I'm starting to get nervous about it. I have not yet, as of now, made the GoFundMe. Things just kind of went south for me for the weekend, and I didn't have a chance to do it. I apologize. The GoFundMe will be up before next Saturday. I promise. Promise. You can go to my store at grandpamarks-hobbies.myspreadshop.com. Link is in the description. Grab yourself some Grandpa Marks Hobbies 24-hour group build merch, and all the proceeds from my store are going to this 24-hour bid. So you'll be getting yourself a cool coffee mug or hat or whatever, and you'll be helping out the 24-hour build. Let's thank our veterans, our active duty members, and our first responders for putting it on the line every single day so we can keep doing what we're doing. I thank each and every one of you. I salute each and every one of you, and I'm saying that from my heart, not reading it off a screen. Automotive Model Car Livecast is every other Thursday. They won't be on this Thursday. They'll be on next Thursday. Go back to last Thursdays and watch that one. I was on it, and we had a ball. We talked about everything under the sun. We sure as heck went off topic quite a few times, but we had a blast doing it. With that, I'll let you all go. Thank you for sticking around to the end. If you did, I, from the heart, appreciate it. And I salute each and every one of you. Y'all have a great day, a better tomorrow, and thank you very much for watching. Now, I told y'all I was going to tell you why I'm a day late and $1 short getting this video out to you, because I really promised I was going to get it to you on Sunday. Well, yesterday I was working on this, and then I went over to have lunch with Rusty, and while we were sitting there, the TV started going crazy about severe weather coming in. So we both looked at each other and we're like, see ya. And then we got out of there. Well, I got home, and right around the 2 o'clock time, things went south in a quick way. Alarms started coming through our phones and all that, and the TV went straight to the weather saying it's coming, it's gonna be bad. And from one side of our town to the other, we got hammered. Trees down, wires down, signs down, flooding. I mean, there were cars floating in the parking lot down the street. So here's a quick video of what Zach took of my flagpole. And this is at the very beginning. We were out there like, wow. And then we were like, let's go in the house. And it got bad like that. And it ramped up even more than that for maybe 5-10 minutes straight, hard. And then it ramped down a little bit and still kept going before it quit. So we lost power, of course, and it was out for almost 24 hours to the minute. I mean, you couldn't have timed it any better. But I got to say thank you to all the linesmen, the tree guys that were cutting these trees out of the wires, getting everything and roads back open. First responders on the stick, man. They were keeping people safe. The police, everybody, the whole community. I mean, they really ramped it up yesterday. They got busy. They got busy today. And like I said, in 24 hours, we went from having nothing to power back on. And that says a lot because there was some serious freaking damage in this area. So again, thank you to everybody that did anything to make this right. And you all have a great day and a better tomorrow. And I'll see you next video.